We are live now. What's up, swimmers and swammers? I'm Coleman Hodges. I'm joined by YanYan Lee. We are here to preview the 2023 World Championships events for the women's side. YanYan, let's just get started. We have a lot of events to cover. We're just going to dive right into it. Hopefully, people will join as time goes on. Feel free to leave comments on YouTube, on the post on SwimSwam.com. Let us know what your picks as we're talking about them. Let us know if you have any questions, and we'll try to answer them and post comments as we see fit. But for right now, we're just going to geek out and talk about women's swimming. So let's get started. 50 freestyle. YanYan, I'll let you start for this one. Who are your heavy hitters? Who do you have as medal favorites going into the women's 50 freestyle in Fukuoka?
Yeah, so 1-2, I have Sarah Sjöström winning gold and then Emma McKeon taking silver. I think both of those picks are pretty obvious locks. I think even if you were to pick a different order, I think those two are the favorites to get gold and silver. And I'm going with Sarah just because I was so impressed with the way she swam at Mare Nostrum. She went 23.8, and last year she was just dominant in the 50 free. I think this is her race to lose. And then Emma McKeon was the only other swimmer sub 24 last year, and she had a great showing at Short Course World. She didn't win this event at trials. I don't think Shayna Jack beat her, but I think she has what it takes to just save more for Worlds. And for third, I'm between Shayna Jack and Abby Weitzel, and I'm going with Jack as third, but it's honestly a toss-up. I was considering Cassia Wasik, who's the reigning silver medalist, but she usually is really fast in season, but she hasn't been as fast this year, so I don't think she's gonna be a contender as much this year.
That hurts. My girl Kasha was 24-1 last year to get silver. Let's look at the top 25 here in the world for this year. Sjöström has been 23.82. Good Lord, that is fast. She's the only woman under 24. Weitzel at 24.00 is number 2. Shayna Jack, Emma McKeon, Meg Harris, Gretchen Walsh, 24.3. Let's see, where is Kasha? 20th, 24.6.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair. We've got quite a few Australians on that list, quite a few Americans on that list.
I can't believe Meg Harris went 28.42 and didn't even make the team.
That is insane. And some of these events, I was looking through the world rankings, and like the depth is just crazy. How for Americans or for Australians, yeah, in this event, the Australian depth, Australian sprinting is pretty well known, and we know what we're getting with that. But yeah, for them to have 3, 4, and 5 in the world right now, as you said, Meg Harris 24.2 didn't even make the team. Eat. So you think Emma McKeon's gonna get silver? I think that's a safe bet. I think Sjöström and McKeon for silver. Yeah, that's good. I hope Abby Weitzel can throw down a really good 50 and get in there for a bronze as well. But yeah, I think that's pretty stock. So not a whole lot else to say in that. We've got Zhang Yufei is 8th in the world. Of China.
Zhang Yufei is someone I'm very interested in seeing how she does this year, because she had a great 2021, not so good 2022, but her 50 and 100 times so far this year have been more impressive than her 200 times. So I wonder if she's starting to swim down, but we'll talk about her more in the 100 fly and 200 fly and other butterfly races. But that's interesting to me.
Yeah, which are just stacked events. Patrick Collins, Abby will bring the heat. All right. I hope so. All right. So I think we can safely move on. 100 freestyle.
This one was so hard
way
to
harder. I'm gonna throw a hot take out there from the beginning. I don't know how hot it is, but I think Siobhan Howie wins.
Oh no, I have her winning as well. Yeah, so maybe it's not that hot.
she's been 52.5 already. She's number 2 in the world. Molly O'Callahan, defending world champion, great closer, but, has tweaked the knee. We don't know how on form she's going to be. And she's only ahead of Shaban in the world rankings right now by 2/100ths. I think
Mhm.
home continent advantage. If anything, Shaban's just going to have the crowd on her side. So I think, compared to who else is going to be in that heat. And I think Shaban has gotten a lot of silvers and bronzes,
Yeah.
and I think she's ready for a long course of gold.
Yeah. I have Shaban with, and then the other two medal positions I was between Emma, Molly, and Kate Douglas. And if Molly's injured, I think Emma gets silver and Kate gets bronze, and Molly gets off the podium. But if she's on form, then I see Kate off the podium. So it's really up to Molly O'Callahan's health status. And I'm very interested into seeing how fast Kate Douglas goes because I don't know how much she has left because she had a bunch of pretty big drops at trials, but like, is she gonna go faster in 3 weeks? Is she gonna even replicate her times? I feel like if she even replicates her times from trials, it would be good enough, but I'm just not sure.
I think it's very safe to say if she goes her times from trials,
Mm,
she medals, right? Like hands down. I think 52.5 medals. And
yeah,
I think historically, in a women's 100 free final that's for medals, it's not going to be quite as fast, right? I mean, last year, Molly won in 52.6, Sjostrom was 2.8, Tori was 2.9 to medal, which is very fast, but not necessarily everyone going their season best or breaking records.
I
And
mean,
we've already go ahead.
I guess it depends because it took a 52.9 to medal last year, but then in Tokyo, I think it took like a 52.2, 52.3 to medal. So it fluctuates. I think this year's finals won't be as fast as Tokyo, but it's going to be significantly faster than
It
Budapest.
took that fast to medal in Tokyo. That's
Mm,
insane. And we've got a lot of women who are pretty tightly knit. I mean, 52.4 is number one in the world right now. 52.9 is seventh. And, a lot can happen, whether it's you mess up a detail in your race, you're not 100% on. It's like I think Merritt Steenbergen has a legit shot to
yeah,
medal, and she's been 52.98 this season, and she is seventh in the world. And then you've got Weitzel, Shayna Jack, Kate Douglas, Emma McKeon. Sorry, Shayna Jack's not swimming it because she's the third Australian.
yeah. There's
But
a lot of Kate Douglas hypers in our chat right now.
um, we'll throw up a couple. Kate Douglas will be faster. Still learning how to swim long course from Daniel Goldberg. Thanks, Daniel. We've got another one. Niall Taylor. I think Kate of all will handle the double taper well. I'm confident. I think she's already got an Olympic Games and a long course worlds under her belt. She's medaled at both of those, and I think her momentum. She's carrying some serious momentum into this meet. From short course worlds, winning double gold to NCAA's, where she exploded swimming, and now we've seen that she's a major long course factor.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, after Shaban, I think I don't really have any hot takes. I think Emma, Molly, Kate, Abby, and Merritt all have really
Yeah.
great chances of
Merritt's
medaling.
a Merritt's a little bit of a dark horse. I can totally see her dropping a lot of time at Worlds because she said those times either I think it was Dutch trials or some in-season meet, but I remember she had a big breakout last year. We saw that she split 52 and everyone was like, "Whoa, like where did this come from?" So I
Mhm.
really like the trajectory that she's on right now.
Yeah. Um, yeah, and I think she's 21, so it's like
Yeah.
she's got youth on her
Yeah.
side. So yeah, I think she could sneak in there for a medal as well.
Mhm.
Okay, 200 freestyle.
200 free.
What are you
I
thinking?
have Summer McIntosh winning and going 152, and then Ariane for silver and Siobhan bronze. Summer,
Okay.
I think the fact that she chose to swim the 200 free, because we just in this morning she dropped the 2 IM. In last year she dropped
Breaking.
the 3, and she has a lot of potential there. I think the field's gonna push her because this field is absolutely stacked. And then she went that 153.9 at the end of a 5-day meet where she broke the world record in the 400 and the 400 free and the 400 IM. But it's going to be in the middle of the meet this time around, so I think she'll be a lot faster than what she went at trials, and I think she has a 152 in her. And then Titmus second, just based on her past times. I think she'll also be faster than trials, and then Holly also a contender. And Molly, again, same with the 100 free. I'm not really sure about her health status, but if she's healthy, I can see her definitely contending. But ultimately, I think Summer wins regardless.
Let's see. Oh, didn't Summer lead off the 8 free relay in a faster time than the 200 free gold last year?
Did. It was a really slow. The 200 free was really slow. Like Siobhan pulled out the night before prelims, and it took a 154 high to win gold. 156 medal. It was really slow.
Yeah, 156 2 medal. That's crazy. Yeah. So Yang Junchuan, sorry if that's bad pronunciation, was 154.92 for gold last year. Summer led off the 8 free relay in 154.79. I think it's safe to say with the field we've gotten the 200 free, we will see much faster times than that. I want to say Siobhan again. I want her to sweep in the home continent world champs, but I don't think Summer goes 152. I would love that, but that is really fast, and especially seeing how on her 400s were at world champ trials. I don't know. You have to have serious speed to be going.
Took out her 400 free and 155. She does have that 200 free speed.
I agree with you, but she has speed. I don't know if it's 152 speed. 153 low's a sensational swim. But
someone asked, how well do you think Claire Weinstein's gonna go? How well do you think she's gonna do?
It's a good question. She came up big last year, and leading off that relay in 156 after, what was she individually? So she made semis. She was 158 in prelims. She was 156.9 in semifinals, got 10th. And then she led off the 200 free relay in 156.7.
Yeah.
This year, she was 155.26 to win US trials. She's obviously done really well at Sandpipers, and I think it's fair. I think she could drop more time. I think she could, maybe challenge for a medal. I think 154 mid is a possibility for her.
So definitely final this year. I remember she said she was kind of sick heading into Worlds last year.
That's right.
So she'll definitely perform better. And she still won a best time even being sick. So I think I can totally see her, both her and Bella Sims maybe being in that 154 range, 155 high. And I think they're both going to be in the final, but I don't think either of them are medaling.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think one of them could sneak in for a bronze, perhaps if it is a slower heat. Wait, that was Michael Klee. I wonder, is that actually you, Michael Klee, former national team member? Katie Ledecky told a story about you in the mix zone at US Trials. I don't know if you're aware of that, but it was a funny one. Anyway, sorry. Back on track. Yeah, I think the Sandpipers, if they both make the A final, I think that's a great success.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, it's not actually him.
It's not actually Michael Klee. Really well, great name. Wait, your name's Michael Key, not Klee. There's no L. Sorry.
That's really funny.
I'm getting too sidetracked by your username. I'm gonna call Shaban for the winner. We don't know where Molly's at. Ariarne and Summer look great. I think Summer's gonna have a fantastic meet, but I think Shaban is also gonna have a fantastic meet, and she has less events to worry about. I think she can, if she goes a 150. I think 153 mid wins. But if we saw 152, that would be awesome.
152 high.
I mean, that's a world record. Do you think she's gonna break a world record in the tuner free?
Yeah, if she goes 152, she probably breaks the world record.
That's intense. All right. Fair enough. Next up, one of the most highly anticipated races of this meet, the 400 free. Well, I want to start by saying this. Some commenters were saying Li Bingji like has a legitimate shot to medal in the 400 free, and on paper, I hard disagree.
Nope. Yeah, this is one of those events. It's like if your name is not McIntosh, Ledecky, or Tidmus, you are not going on the podium.
You know, like crazier things have happened certainly, but the fact that she has a PB of 401 and they all have PBs of 356, and they're all on form. You know, they all look pretty good. I think Titmus and Ledecky have been 358 this season, and obviously Summer broke the world record at trials. So I can't give that to you. So what's your order?
Okay, first off, I want to say I can see someone else breaking 4 minutes and then not medaling. There's been a few 400s for once. Like Erica Fairweather could break 4 minutes, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Li Bingji could break 4 minutes.
Yeah, Li Bingji could break 4 minutes. But I have Summer getting gold, Ariarne Titmus getting silver, and Katie Ledecky getting bronze, which I think is the general opinion.
I think that's that's Mel's opinion. That's Mel Stewart's opinion as well. And I told him to say that. So that's my opinion also. I mean, I think it's kind of interesting, right? Like Katie Ledecky seemed to, she was out in 401.
Are you hurting me right
now? What? No.
Someone commented, "YanYan, you are hurting me right now."
Why is that? I think that's a pretty good pick.
I'd love to see Katie get revenge on Titmus and beat her, but
that'd be great. I just, you know, I think that's a good solid pick. What do you make of Ledecky's 400 free at trials? You know, going 400, she was 358 in season.
I think it's that big of a deal just because last year she wasn't very fast at trials and then went considerably faster at Worlds. I think she'll be in that 357 range. I think what's going to happen is that McIntosh is going to dominate and win, and then the race for silver is going to be really close between Ledecky and Titmus.
Agreed. Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much what everyone thinks is going to happen. If we get a 3-dog race, that would be great. But it seems like if Summer sticks to her guns and goes out really fast, you know, it seems like she could pull away, but who knows? Maybe Titmus, you know, with the Dean Boxall mindset, you know, kind of stays on her hip and then makes a push at the end.
Yeah. I mean, Titmus took her race out when she broke the world record pretty fast as well. She went out on a 156. Because I remember she used to be a closer, but recently she has been taking out her races a bit faster now. Which is
well, I'm also curious if that's because she has no one to race in Australia. Because, you know, in a world championship final, similar to the Olympics, like you're just racing to win. You know, you don't care what time you go. And so she was
pretty fast at Australian trials in 2021, I remember as well.
Yeah. So I think I'm excited to see how the lanes play out, because I think that will kind of affect the race. You know, if Summer's in the middle of those two, who's in the middle of those two versus who is on the outside, or if, you know, who knows, maybe Titmus or Ledecky have like a off prelims and are in an outside lane, or, you know, someone has a really great prelim swim, like what's that going to do? So we'll see. That's going to be a great race, even though we can pretty safely predict who's going to be medaling.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, women's 800 free. Katie Ledecky's going to win.
Yeah.
I don't really have much else to say.
Yeah. I think Ledecky, Titmus, and Pallister for bronze.
Yeah, I think that's a fair pick.
Yeah.
Pallister is currently 8th in the world with her time from trials. It'd be cool to see Jillian Cox drop a little more time and maybe make a push for a medal.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Erica Fairweather from New Zealand is 3rd in the world right now. We've seen her pretty steadily on the rise, and with her recently going 400, it seems like a medal in this one is in the cards as well. But in terms of a race for gold, there's not one.
Yeah. What do you think Katie's gonna go? Her trials time was 3rd fastest performance ever.
Yeah, and this is an interesting one too, right? Because as we kind of predicted, Katie swam the 800 first at trials, and now it will be her last event in Fukuoka.
She did that last year as well, though, and she was like over a second faster in Budapest. So I think people are kind of going overboard with the whole, oh, she's gonna be tired, it's the last day of the meet. The 800 free has been the last day of the meet. It was the last day of the meet at the Olympics. It was the last day of the meet last year, and I just don't think that affects her that much.
Yeah, I am kind of curious, like year by year you probably see some consistency, but it's so hard to gauge with Ledecky because like she does have a lot of variance of how she performs at the end of the year over year time wise, but it's like, well, she always wins, so it's kind of like,
yeah,
who cares, but I think it's interesting because in Rio when she broke the world record she didn't have the mile to swim, but I think a lot of people are calling 805.
Yeah, I think 806 to 804 range is all could happen. I've noticed that since she's been at Florida, she has dropped a bit more from in season to her championship meets, whereas except in the 200 free for some reason, but when she was at Sanford, she was adding a lot of time from her in season times and just kind of peaking at like pro series, but we're seeing a little bit less of that at Florida, which I think is interesting. And I have pretty high hopes and expectations for this. It would be amazing to see her re-break world record, but I don't think it's going to happen this year, but she's going to get close.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't really see a world record there yet. But yeah, she had a great swim at trials, and I think she'll drop a little more from that in worlds. Mile, pretty similar deal.
Yeah. It's very interesting because I have completely different medalists besides Ledecky for the mile than the 100 free, because I have Quadarella getting silver and then Li Bingji getting bronze. I kind of grappled with the idea of Katie Grimes, but I don't know. She just did not have a very good trials meet.
Well, it's interesting because like kind of the point of trials is to make the team, and sure she didn't look on her best form, but she's on the team in the two events she medaled in last year. Again, she was 1544 for silver in the mile last year at Worlds. Kind of interesting that we didn't mention Quadarella as a medal contender in the 800, even though she is the defending bronze medalist. I don't think she was super high in the world rankings, which is why I didn't see her. But I mean, I think Katie Grimes can definitely have a bounce back performance. However, she will be competing in open water beforehand.
Whereas last year she did it afterwards.
Yeah. So interestingly enough, I was talking to her coach Ron Aiken at trials, and he liked that because, you can kind of prepare for open water, which is obviously much longer than pool swimming. And so
Mm.
like for tapering, it's kind of like on the way down, right? It's like, okay, you're tapering. Oh, you swim the 10K and then you just keep going down and then prepare for, which is her events work out great because you prepare for the mile and then the 400 IM. So for her, it just keeps getting shorter and shorter. So he seemed to think um, that order would work in her favor in terms of resting and preparation.
Yeah. I do think the field has gotten a bit faster in the 1500 this year compared to last year, because I remember last year in the 1500 final there were a bunch of swimmers that, yeah, only 4 swimmers broke 16 minutes in the 1500, and this year right now there's already like 9 or 10 swimmers that have been under 15.
Yeah. So five swimmers broke 16 minutes in prelims at World Champs. Yeah, and then like you said, 4 of them broke that barrier in finals. Yeah, we've had quite a few sub. Oh, so we've had 8 sub
Yeah,
16-minute swims
yeah,
so
and one of them
far.
is Russian, and she's not going to be swimming.
Well, no, one of them's Anastasia Krupishnikova, who's now
Oh, right,
British.
because she changed her nationality, so she will be there.
She will be there, and yeah, she's a pretty legitimate contender as well. Isabel Gose, I don't know
Yeah,
how to say that. She's German.
yeah, she's
Yeah,
had a great season so far.
she's right up there in the world rankings as well. She's 6th in the mile, and I think 2nd or 3rd in the 800. And then we've got Moisha Johnson from
Yeah.
Australia, who was
She's
4th in
also
the
an
mile
open water
last year.
swimmer.
Okay, I did not
Yeah.
realize that, but yeah, she was in the mile final last year and was 4th. So just missed out on the medals there. So it's gonna be a good heat. I think the final will be very competitive. I'm pulling for the American to repeat as silver. I think she'll do just fine on this double taper, but yeah, we'll see. If Li Bingji can kind of repeat her times, I think I'm with you that she could also end up on the medal podium.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into some other strokes. Women's 50 fly. Sarah Schuster's winning.
Yeah. There's no question.
Yeah. But I am curious to have the conversation of how do you think Gretchen Walsh will react to her first senior international meet, especially in Asia?
I don't think she's gonna do terrible. I think because I know that happens sometimes with these first timers, but she's one of those swimmers who I think this moment has been waiting for a long time, and I think she'll have her teammates have been through it. She'll learn from them. She's pulled it off. She's pulled off big meets before. But I think she gets silver. I'm very curious to see if she breaks 25. That would be big, considering that Sarah's the only woman in history who has done that. And then for bronze, I have Zhang Yufei, and she
Defending
didn't have
bronze
that good of a
medalists.
meet. Yeah, she didn't have that good of a meet last year. But she still set a Chinese record in the 50 fly, and I'm pretty sure she tied that Chinese record at national this year. So I can see her. I can see her having a good swim in this event. I think it's starting to become one of her main events.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think Gretchen gets silver.
I cannot call Gretchen for silver. She's 25-11 at trials. I think international racing experience matters. So we've got one commenter saying peak pyrography. Gretchen did well at NCs as a freshman. She's learned to handle the pressure a lot better. I don't think it's necessarily about pressure. I think it's about learning to race in this environment, which is very different from NCAA's. The 50 fly is pretty early in the schedule. Hold on, I'm looking at the schedule because I don't
No, it's
actually know
towards
when the
the
50
end.
fly is. So it's towards the end. It's on prelims are on day 6, finals are on day 7 for women. So she will have quite a few races under her belt by that time, I'm guessing, between the 100 fly individually and relays, which could be a good thing. But it also, tires you out. Like a 6-day meet, I don't think people realize that is a long time to be competing and in this bubble where emotions are high, adrenaline is high. You're constantly like spiking and then coming back down and then like spiking when the next race happens. And like it's a lot. And she's been through that with NC's, which is a 3.5-day meet, but I'm just not super optimistic that she's going to be able to perform at the same level she did at trials, which was an extremely high level. So I'm not sold that she will medal, especially in this event where you have kind of a lot of heavy hitters, obviously Sjostrom, but then like Melanie Hanique of France is a veteran and this is her prime event. Like you said, Zhang Yufei, who's going to, she obviously she is Asian, so home continent there. I would think it's so cool if Rikako Iki medaled of Japan at a home world
Yeah,
championships.
definitely.
So, like personally, I would just love to see her medal. But G Walsh is number 2 in the world right now, and
Number
she's
4,
there.
number 3 all time, actually.
Number 3 all time. Who's number 2?
No idea. I think it's another Swede.
Oh, Therese.
Yeah, Therese, and then Rikako and Gretchen are tied for number 3 all time.
Wow. Dude, so yeah, like if Rikako, I think she has a legitimate shot to medal. She's 7th in the world right now, and if she could get on the podium, I think that would be such a cool thing to see with all that she's been through. But I'm gonna say the field catches Gretchen a little bit in this one. All right, 100 fly.
This one was really hard to pick. I'm going with Maggie McNeil. She's gonna be back. Back like she never left. I was between her and Tori Husk, but I think Maggie's back half has and probably will get the best of Husk. Once again, it happened at Short Course Worlds, it happened at NCAs, it happened at the Olympics, and Maggie's just been performing really, really well, lights out under Rick Bishop, and I think she's gonna get that crown back. And I think Tori gets second, Zhang Yufei gets third, and Emma McKeon's also in the mix, but I do think Maggie takes this one.
Do you think Emma's gonna swim this?
I think she doesn't have anything conflicting with it.
Yeah, let's see if she's entered it. I'm just like, is she is entered in it. I'm just like at this point, like I'm kind of like, why? Like what's in it for her? I guess unless she like just wants to race it. And I mean, I guess there's a lot of
she could
answers
win
to that question, but
she has
she
a
could.
shot of winning. I don't think she's gonna win, but she has a shot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little skeptical she swims it. I think she might want to focus on the sprint freeze, but
and she does have to swim fly for the medley relay because I think that's how it's gonna play out.
Yeah, I mean, she just has a lot of swims, right? It's like if she could potentially swim on 5 relays plus individual events. We know she's not swimming the 50 fly, but like 2 individual events plus 5 relays is so many swims that it's like, do you really want to go for it in the 100 fly, which she could win, but you could also not medal. I mean, I think she has as good of a shot to not medal as she does to win it.
Yeah, for sure.
And at that point, it's kind of like, is this worth doing when I want to help Australia win all the relays and I want to do good in other events? So yeah, I think it's easy to call Tori, Zhang, and Maggie on the podium. Also crazy that the US has the top 3 women in the world.
Yep.
And let's see, 5 of the top 7
Yeah,
at the
crazy.
moment. Which, yeah, all of those are ahead of McKeon, even though obviously 3 of the 5 American women will not be swimming it. But yeah, Zhang, Maggie, Tori have been the top 3 of the top 4. Well, and McKeon have been the top 4 at the Olympics. That was the podium at Worlds last year. So I think I'm picking Tori to win. I'm sorry, Marie Waddle was silver last year.
Yeah, and Zhang was bronze in a
Where is
very,
she ranked
very
right
off event.
now?
I
She's
think
14th.
she did decently at trials. She probably did not have to be at her best to win. The
Yeah, she was 57.4. Sorry,
56.
57.3 at her trials, and yeah, I was kind of like, eh.
Yeah. I think
Okay.
G. Walsh could be a sleeper pick in this. I know you're not really confident about her abilities, but I honestly think if she does really well in this race, maybe like a 56-1, 56-0, I could see her replacing Tori Husk on the medley relay because Tori Husk doesn't really replicate her flat start times on relay. She's never broken 56 on a relay, but Gretchen, she's a little bit better at that with relay splits. I think if she goes 56 low, she can feasibly go 55 on a relay, and that should be enough for them to put her on over Husk. But that's my hot take.
You're saying if Gretchen Walsh went 56 low but didn't beat Tori or did beat Tori?
I don't know. Just I don't think it matters. I think if she goes 56 low, then she's getting put on the medley relay over Husk.
Even if Tori goes 55 and wins a world title.
It depends on what that 55 is. If it's like 55 high, then I still see room for Gretchen to be on the medley relay over her. Like, I know it won't seem fair and people are going to be upset about it, but I can totally see Gretchen outperforming her on that relay start.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, is that really about the reaction time though? Like, or is it about Tori just hasn't swam well on relays versus individuals?
She hasn't swam well on relays versus individuals.
Because I mean, to me, it's interesting, but yeah, that would be a decision by the U.S. if they
Yeah.
I don't see Gretchen going 56-1, so that's especially because that's her first event. I totally see her swimming better in the 50 fly than the 100 fly. But we'll see.
She's gonna finish off the podium in the 50 fly, then what is she gonna do in the 100 fly? Miss the finals?
You can make 2A finals and not like there's more people that make A finals
So
and don't medal than do
she
medal.
finishes 4th in the 50 fly and then 8th in the 100 fly.
I mean, she could finish 4th in both. It's
Oh,
like crazier
someone
things have
had a
happened.
comment. Do you see a Reagan Smith situation from 2019 with the relay with Tori versus Gretchen Walsh? I could totally see that. I can totally see that.
Hold
For
on.
those who
What does that even mean?
so basically Olivia Smoliga qualified to swim the 100 back individually, and I think I don't remember if she medaled at Worlds. Oh, she medaled at Worlds in the 100 back and was like the top 100 back circle, but then Reagan Smith broke the record in the 200 back, but she didn't
Right.
qualify for the 100 back because the teams were selected in 2018.
Yeah.
So they went with Reagan instead of Olivia, even though Olivia medaled in the 100 back.
Right. So how is this applicable to? How is that situation applicable to
Like
this?
the best performer in the 100 isn't on the medley relay.
Okay, I get what you're saying, but that's very different because Reagan didn't swim the 100 back, and we will see Tori and Gretchen both swim the 100 fly. So it's like that's a I mean, if they put Gretchen on over Tori, even if Gretchen swims slower than Tori, like that's that's
I
still like
think
so much different because you saw both of them swim 100 fly.
I think the team, in terms of team politics, it would get a little tricky because usually it's like, oh, you earned your spot because you swim faster than the individual, but we can see that's not how it works all the time. Ryan Murphy beat Hunter Armstrong last year by 1/100th, and he got the medley relay spot, and then Hunter's prelims time was faster than Ryan's finals time, and it cost them the gold last year.
No, it
Like,
wasn't.
yes, it was.
Hunter went like 53.6 in prelims.
I think no, he won like 52 low.
I just looked at this. He was
I'm looking at
53.7 on the medley.
53.7 on the Oh right. Oh my, what am I?
Are you talking about the mixed? Let's see.
Okay, I don't know why I thought of that, but I think I
So
remember
on the
people were
mixed
saying,
medley relay, Hunter was 52.1, and Murphy swam prelims and Hunter swam finals.
oh, I see. I don't know why I was confusing that, but I remember people were a little upset about going
Well,
over Armstrong.
yeah, I mean, and when they are 1/100th apart, how and Ryan Murphy, who is the better, who's the guy who went 100th faster, has far more experience on relays than Hunter. It's like, how else are you supposed to pick, right?
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
in that situation, would you have picked
yes.
Hunter over Ryan?
In that situation, I would have picked Ryan just because of the 1/100th difference and
Yeah.
experience. But I feel like this would be a different scenario.
Oh, I agree. I mean, if they're really close, and I mean, the reality is we see a fraction of what the Team USA coaching staff sees, right?
Yeah,
So they see them practice relay starts, they see them practice flat starts, they see them in training camp and how they look, for weeks leading up to this meet and during and hours during the meet. So it's like if they swim within half a second of each other in the individual event, and for they decide to go with Gretchen over Tori, even though Tori goes fast in the individual, like I wouldn't really have a problem with that, because like I was just confused because like it was much more radical, I think, to put Reagan on over Olivia because we hadn't seen Reagan swim 100 back. I think it was the right decision and everyone was calling for it anyway, and I don't
hmm
think anyone
yeah,
was really that upset when they
yeah.
did it. But yeah, anyway, we've spent enough time on this topic. That's the 100 fly. I don't even
Yeah,
know. I
yes.
think Tori's going to win the 100 fly. That's my call. I think Zhang and Maggie are on the podium as well. Uh, but I think Tori repeats. She's number one in the world right now, so that's my rationale. So don't at me, anyone. All right, women's 200 fly.
Yeah.
I think this is a two-woman race.
Yep. And I think Reagan Smith wins it.
Okay. Where is Zhang Yufei swimming this?
She is, but she hasn't looked as good because she was 56.4 in the 100, 25.3 in the 50, but then 2079 in the 200, which
Interesting.
that's why I thought she was maybe emphasizing the sprints more in her training, and maybe she doesn't have the stamina for the 200 anymore. So I have Reagan winning, and then Summer getting second, and Lizzie Deckers getting third.
Those are the top three in the world right now. Lizzie
Mm-hmm.
Deckers was 2:05.2 at Australian trials. Freaking great swim. And currently
Mm-hmm.
1 second ahead of Lana Pudar, who's fourth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't really. I think Summer's going to win. I think Reagan is going to do. I have Reagan sweeping the backstrokes, 100 and 200. At 50, I don't count, even though we'll talk about it. I just think that 200 fly swim was like a once in a lifetime kind of a swim, and I don't think she's going to go as fast in Japan compared to coming off of altitude training and swimming at her home pool. And I think Summer's going to have a monster meet. And so I think, go ahead.
But even if Reagan doesn't replicate that, there's still a 1 second difference between the two of them. And this whole Reagan Smith having a 1 second, just a once in a lifetime swim. We said that about her 200 back, and we thought she'd never replicate it again, but she did. I don't think she's gonna let that 203 go just like that. I think she has a lot of potential in this event. I think we could even see her focusing on it a little more, because I think this is her best shot at gold. I actually have McEwen sweeping the backstrokes at 100, 200 back, but this race I feel like is Reagan Smith's to lose. Yeah. Someone asked, will there be enough swimmers in the field to fill semis? Because remember, in Tokyo there was only 16 swimmers, but I think we'll be fine on that. Last year, there were 25 swimmers in the field. Definitely one of the smaller fields, but definitely more than 16.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like it should be fine. But honestly, I guess we'll see. I think they will fill out semis.
Yeah.
Okay. Going back to I don't know who this we is. I didn't think her 200 back from 2019 was a one-time swim.
Then why do you think her two flies one-time swim?
Because butterfly is different than backstroke. And I think replicating the rhythm of butterfly is a lot harder to do than replicating the rhythm of backstroke. And especially when you're in a foreign land eating foreign food, it's not very easy to do. It can be done. And I'm not saying like she went 205 something at trials, but then like went season bests in backstroke.
She was Sam Meisel mentioned she was right on her best time, and by the 150 she just kind of died. And at that meet she didn't have much competition because she was winning by so much. I think being at Worlds,
do you think competition would help her?
I think it would help her.
I don't think it helps in the 200 fly. I think it hurts. I think it gets in your head and then you tighten up.
Broke that. I think part of the reason why Milok broke that world record was because James Guy went out like a freight train, and Milok went out super fast as well, but was able to hold on.
Which world record? Because he broke it twice, and
I think both times there was someone that was going out really fast with him. In 2019,
see, that's different. You're talking about the first 100. I'm talking about the last 50. Like, if you have competition on the last 50, that is hard. Yes, I'm aware she died on the last 50. I still do not think she's going to be able to go faster. Like, I think she goes
in all her races at trials.
What?
She kind of died in all her races at nationals.
I think she goes faster than what she went at trials at Worlds. I think I'm calling 2:04.4. That's a great swim. I think Summer goes 2:04.1 and wins.
Okay. Some of the commenters were mentioning Lana Pudar. She's ranked 4th. I think she's number 4 in the world. But yeah, I'm not really sure if she can replicate her swim since she just came off Euro Juniors. But 2:06.2, that's what she went.
Yeah. I think Lana's young, so she has a great chance to win. She has a great chance to medal. But so is Lizzie Deckers, who's currently a second faster.
Like 18
yeah, and again, I think this is about racing to win, not racing like what you've done and what your potential is time wise does matter, but like in a world championships final, it's kind of just about who can do it on that day. So for bronze, I think Lana could do it. I think Deckers could do it. We've got Airi Mitsui of Japan, who's been 206.7 this year, and with a home crowd, I feel like she's got a legitimate shot. So,
Laura Stevens from Great Britain, 206.6. I think she had a big breakout swim at trials.
Do you know how old she is?
I have no idea. Oh, she's 24.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, it seems like she's kind of in that prime spot too, maybe a little on the older side compared to the rest of the field, but yeah, I mean, I think she's got a solid chance as well. So those are my picks for the tuner fly.
All right.
I think the women's 50 breast is the deepest and could be the best race of this entire meet.
I thought you said 50s don't count.
No, I said 50 back doesn't count for Reagan because like I'm focusing on her three Olympic events, and I'm not convinced she's going to swim the 50 back. She said she wanted to. That doesn't mean she will, and it does conflict with the 200 fly, which is another reason that I don't think she's going to win. If she
the 200 fly comes first, though.
In finals, not in semis.
Okay, but semis doesn't matter towards who's going to win.
Yeah, but it could affect if she swims it or not.
Okay, we can talk about that in our backstroke segment of this, but
deal. Okay, I want to preface this race by saying we have got the last three women to hold the world record. The number one ranked woman in the world this year, plus the Olympic champion in the 100, and they have all been under 30 this season.
Okay. Gold Ruda, she has just looked phenomenal in the 50 breasts as of lately. Nearly broke the world record last year, broke the world record in short course. I think this is her event. She's going to be on top. And then silver, I have Lily King. I think she's getting her speed back. Last year was a bit of a fluke for her. I think she gets silver. And then for bronze, I have Lydia Jacoby. I don't think Pilato is gonna be super on form. She hasn't been at her best recently, and she missed the team in the 100 breast, despite being the world champion. I'm not. I have to confirm that, but I saw in a comment that she missed the 100 breast, so I don't think she's gonna get on the podium in the 50 just because it's such a competitive event, and she doesn't seem to be at her best this year.
I'm confused because you and our official SwimSwam preview both don't have Laura Van Niekerk medaling, and she's number one in the world right now.
Yeah. Laura, I was considering her. I was considering it. She's definitely a contender.
I mean, and obviously it's hard because the top 5 women right now are separated by 0.09. So you have to leave 2 of them off the podium, even though they're all literally like this close together. So it's hard, but I definitely think Laura is going to medal. She was the bronze medalist last year in Budapest. She's been 29.75 this season. Man, this is just such a hard one to call.
Yeah, this one was hard to pick.
I don't even know. I think I'll have Laura winning. You know what? She's had a great season. She's on top of the world right now. I think Lily will do well. Honestly, I kind of like how the top 3 are right now: Laura, Lily, and Ruda. I think Lily benefited from racing in Indy for U.S. trials. That's not to say she's going to do worse at Worlds, but it's her home pool. She had the crowd on her side for sure. I think mentally to an athlete that matters. But it's just don't have to leave anyone off the podium.
Yeah,
Oh, you're so right, Sam Meisel. 5-way tie for gold. That's
Yeah.
my prediction for the
Love
women's 50 breast. Oh man, what was Lydia's time at trials was 29:81.
Yeah.
King was 29:77. Ruta is 29:79 from the Seti Coley meet. Benedetta has been 29:84. Such a hard. I'm so excited for that race because these are just unarguably 5 of the best, if not the 5 best women in this event ever. So it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
All right, 100 breast.
This event is
What do you-
actually super deep. It just died. Like there was so much momentum building up towards this event at Worlds last year, and it just died. It was so slow. But this year there's been 8 different women under 106. It took a 106 to get silver last year. And ultimately I have Lily King winning. Jacoby, I think Jacoby's gonna be a lot faster than she was at trials because she looked really good in season. I thought she would drop more, but she didn't. I think that means she's gonna drop at Worlds. She's usually a back half swimmer, but she also went 29.8 in the 50 breast, so I think she's gotten a lot better. She's gotten a lot better of a swimmer at Texas. I think she gets silver behind King and maybe challenges her for gold. And then for third, I have Tatiana Schumacher, but Tess shooting with a close fourth.
Yeah, we've got a lot of like just potentials. Yeah, the 100 breast final last year at Worlds was super weird. You had Benedetta Pilato winning at 105.93, Anna Ellent of Germany second, 105.98, Ruta third, 106.02, and then Lily King was fourth, Aoki of Japan fifth, Sophie Hansen sixth.
Aoki had the top time of 2022, but she added a lot at Worlds. I don't think she even made the final at Worlds. Which, she did. She did.
Aoki?
She got fifth at Worlds, but she was considerably slower.
Yeah, so yeah, like you said, weird heat. But yeah, there's quite a few contenders. Like we have 18 women who have been, or let's see, 19 women who have been 106.6 or better. And I think, I think 105.5 could medal, and I think a lot of these women have potential to go that. Laura Van Niekerk and Anna Ellen are 19th and 18th. And so that shows you the depth of just how many of these women are flying in the 100 breast. I'm going Jacoby for the win. I think she pulls a Tokyo. She's looked great this year. She come from behind win at NCAAs. She almost had Lily King on the ropes in Indy, but then Lily King did her thing and was racing in Indy. And again, I think that matters. I think Lily King's going to swim great at this meet, but I'm with you. I think Lydia drops time from trials, and I think she gets her hand on the wall first. I have King going second because
I think both of them go 104.
Yeah, I think both of them go 104. And aside from Evgenia Chekhanova of Russia, who cannot compete at this meet, they're the only people in the world that can do that right now. I'm going Anna Ellent for third. I think Lydia's going to pull her Texas teammate up with her on the and Anna's going to get on the podium once again.
Yeah, I can see that as well. I know I said Tess shooting for a close fourth, but I'm missing so many contenders because I didn't talk about Anna. I didn't talk about Ruta, who I do think she's better at the 50 than the 100, so I can see her feasibly missing here. But yeah, Anna Ellen's a solid pick. I do think Schumacher, just because she has the high ceiling, she's been 104 before. Her time was the top, one of the top in the world, would have won Olympic gold had she swam it in the Olympic final. And yeah, she didn't have the best year last year, still a decent year, but I think she'll bounce back this year.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how Schoenmacher kind of comes back this year after last year. You know, she was silver in the 100 breast at the Commonwealth Games last year. She won the 200 breast. But you know, she was 106.6 and 221.9, which are good times, but
she's
not
beaten
really
that
near her
time
best.
this year already.
Yeah. So yeah, it'll be really interesting to see her back on the world stage. But yeah, we've got the Italians as always, Martina Carrero and Ariana Castiglione. Yeah, you've got Sophie Hansen. It's just like there's so many women. Mona McSherry. The list goes on. So
yeah,
it's gonna be that's gonna be a good race. But I see the Americans going 1-2 in that one.
Yeah.
As I for the 200 breaststroke.
Really? I have the Americans both medaling, but I think King's gonna win. Schumacher's gonna get second, and I think KD gets bronze. I think Kate would have more in her and potentially challenge for maybe silver or gold, but she also has the 100 free that same day. So
yeah, let's talk about that. Do we really think she's going to swim both?
I think she's gonna swim both. You don't get an opportunity to swim 3 individual events and at that many meets. She's great in both, can medal in both, but yeah, I'm just not sure if she's gonna have like that much of a drop in her after the.
I mean, I agree with you that you don't like opportunities to swim individual events at meets like this are rare. I think that's my argument for why she shouldn't swim both, because like that really hurts your chances at medaling in either. And I think to me, it's just safer to to focus on one over the other, unless obviously athletes have confidence in themselves. Obviously, their coaches do as well. If she swims both, I'm gonna love to see it as a swim fan, just to see how that plays out. Commenters,
sure.
please give us your opinions now on whether you think Kate Douglas will swim the 100 breast and 200 breast and 100 freestyle. They are a direct conflict. Prelims, semis, and finals. They're all in the same session.
On paper, she's much better in the 100 free. She's ranked 9th all time in the 100, which is a much more competitive event, and like 15th all time in the 200 breast. This is a bit of a hot take, but I think she's a little bit overhyped in the 200 breast as an event. Like, I don't think that's her best event. We see it I just feel like every time she swims it international, it's like a bit underwhelming compared to what she goes in other events. So I know it's one of her focuses, but I just don't think she's as good as it. Like, she's not very explosive in the event. I think that's one of her strengths. She's very explosive in the IM in the 200 free, but in the 200 breast, she's just always like gliding and stuff. And I think she could medal, but I don't think she's gonna win.
Okay, we've seen her swim the 200 breast twice internationally. She got a bronze medal at last Worlds, and she won at Short Course Worlds.
Yeah,
Obviously,
but her
I know
200
that's short
IM
course.
performance was much better than 200 breast.
Okay, but see, we're talking about two different things. It doesn't matter if she's better at the 100 freestyle than the 200 breast. To me, it matters what she has a better chance to medal in, which is I think unarguably the 200 breast.
Not really. Tess Shruden has been 221. It's just a few tenths off of her. She's not swimming anything that day. Has a much lighter event schedule than Kate does. Is also on upward swing. there's a chance she gets off the podium.
Right. There is a chance that Kate doesn't make it on the podium. How much of a chance is there that she doesn't make the podium in the 100 freestyle? Way bigger of a chance. Like there's just so many more things that can go wrong in a 100 freestyle, and there's so many more women who are competitive in that event that like Kate has to beat one person to make it the podium in the 200 breast. She has to beat like 5 women.
She's ranked 4th in the world right now. She just has to be one of the people ranked above her.
She's ranked 3rd in the 200 breast. Like,
yes,
that's higher. I don't think she should swim both, but if she does, it'll be great.
For entertainment purposes, I want the 100 free.
People seem to think that she will. Our commenters right now seem to think that she will, which I think is very interesting because I think Team USA as a whole leans conservatively in terms of swimming, doing doubles like that.
The thing is, if she drops, do you think they're going to replace her with someone else? Because both of her replacements are on the team. Because if she drops the 100 free, then Gretchen Walsh swims it individually. If she drops the 200 breast, I think Lydia Jacoby can swim it because she has the A cut, and Annie Laser, who's not on the team, I don't think she hit the A cut at trials and she finished 3rd.
Yeah, I mean, I hope they replace her with someone else, unless that's like not an option.
They didn't replace Dressel. They didn't replace Dressel with someone else last year. Yeah, which I think was a little unfortunate.
I don't think they could. Right. I mean, you can't enter people into the meet during the meet. Like that's not USA's. Like that's just a rule.
Yeah. Yeah, the entries are closed right now, and Kate's still set to swim both. In her
yes. So that answers that question.
Yeah.
If she doesn't swim both, there will not be a second swimmer from the US.
She's gonna no-show, which will be annoying. But
that will be annoying. However, she earned both of those spots, and as of now, she plans on swimming both. And if she doesn't feel like it, like that's kind of her right to, other people should have swam faster. Is how I know people get upset by that, but I'm fine with that because she was top 2 in both events. And as of now, she plans on swimming them and earned that right. So I think Lily wins. I think Kate Douglas gets 2nd. I think Schoenmacher gets 3rd. I think Tess Schuten is a close 4th. Yishi Win could be a sleeper.
Yep.
Could be a
very exciting. Wow. It would be so cool to see her win a title. I don't think she will, but it would be so cool.
Would it?
She's been through a lot.
She's been through a lot, and she's had a wild career.
Yeah.
Seeing her perform at the 2019 Worlds, I think it was, where she won 2 silvers.
Yeah, and then her coach passed away, and she missed the Olympic team.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, that's certainly not something I would wish on anyone.
Yeah.
That's a lot. So if she won the 200 breast title, that would be one of the wildest races I think we have.
Yeah.
So 8 women have been under 223, which to me says like we have really 8 solid contenders to medal. I mean, I think if one of them, has a great swim and someone else kind of falters, it could happen. But all right, that's our podium picks.
Yeah.
Women's 50 backstroke.
50 back.
Okay. You think Reagan swims it?
I think she does. It's just the 50.
Have we confirmed it? She's entered in both.
I think she is.
I'm looking right now. I'm looking at the 50 back. She is entered in it. So yeah, she's entered in both.
I think Catherine Burkhoff Blastoff gets gold. Taylor McEwen gets second, and then Reagan gets bronze. Those are my
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you think Reagan gets bronze?
Because she's been 27-1 before, and I think I don't. It's
No,
I don't think,
why don't you think she gets silver? Sorry, that's my
because
question.
Kaylee. There's the reason why I picked her for gold last year. I did the 50 back preview last year was because her old coach Chris Mooney said that she went 26 multiple times in practice, and I kind of bought into that. I don't buy into that as much
That
this
she
year,
did.
just because it's been 2 years. She has looked better than she
He
did
said,
last
hold
year.
on. He said that Kayla McEwen had went 26 in a 50 long course meter backstroke, which is the world record, multiple times in practice.
Yes, yes. That's why a lot of the commenters are saying she's gonna win. I don't think she's gonna be that fast at Worlds, but I think she'll be good enough to get second. And Berghoff, this event has just become her event. Yeah, I want her to win. I think she'll win, and I think McEwen second and Reagan bronze.
I like that pick. So again, similar to the 100 breast, last year this was a pretty weird final.
Yeah,
You had
Chris Mooney has a Todd Disorder watch.
comment of the day. Good one, asymptote. So Kylie Moss won by 8/100ths over Catherine Berkoff last year. Analia Pigray of France was fourth. And then you had 1, 2, 3, 4 women who were all 27-4. Reagan and Kaylee tied for fifth at 27-47. So really, you never know what's going to happen in these 50s, which is also why I don't put as much stock in them. But yeah, I think Catherine Berkoff is going to win. She's got that experience under her belt. She was silver last year, coming off of that 27-13 from 2022 trials. So I think I think that's a safe pick. I like Reagan and Kaylee for second and third, mostly because they've looked sensational this season, and they are currently 2 and 3 in the world. I think you could, excuse me, make arguments for other swimmers, but yeah, I mean, I like. Well, you know what? Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, we'll go Kaylee and Reagan.
Yeah. And
Sure.
I know Kylie Moss is the defending champion, but she just hasn't looked as great as her competitors this year. And she's been so consistent over the last few years, but eventually there is a time for her to finally get off the podium. And I think this year's the time.
All right. Well, Kim Anderson Brown does not think that. They are saying Kylie Moss takes the 50 back. Sam Meisel with my favorite comment, 5-way tie again. I'm all about the 5-way ties in the 50s of stroke. Let's get more people on the medal podium.
Yeah.
All right. 100 backstroke. Good God.
I think this is just a little flip-flop of the 50 back podium with I'm going with McEwen gold, Smith silver, Berkoff bronze, but Berkoff has a really good chance of being in the mix because she was only 3/10 off of Reagan Smith at trials. She can totally go 57, and if Reagan Smith adds a little bit, or if either of them add, she can definitely sneak in and be a contender for gold and silver. But I do think it's going to be McEwen winning.
I'm so glad that this event is early in the meet because it is must-watch TV. It's always a great event. You've got McEwen, you've got Reagan, you've got Berkoff, you've obviously got Kylie Moss, who's not even the top Canadian. That's Ingrid Wilm, who's 58.
That's crazy to think about.
It is. We've had 7 women who are under 59, and Kylie Moss has been 59.00. So basically 8 women who've been under 59 this season so far. we'll see how Malio looks, but yeah, she was 58.4 at trials. I don't think she's a super serious contender in this. As it looks now, I think Reagan sweeps the backstrokes, 100, 200 backstroke. So I think Reagan first, Kaylee second, and Burkhoff looks great, and I think she'll carry her form into this meet and get on there for bronze.
Yeah, I think it's really hard to argue Reagan versus Kaylee, just because they're so close, especially in the 100. Like, you can't really make a good argument for either of them, just because it can go both ways. Like, maybe I'll pick Kaylee to win both backstrokes just to be a contrarian against Coleman.
I mean, I think you should, but like Mel and I sat down for like half an hour and we're looking at Kaylee versus Reagan and like how they performed at trials versus the big meet for the last since 2019 and how where their arcs have been, and it's basically like you can't tell. Like, they have both been so on form this season. So Kaylee McEwen historically swims better in Australia than she does at other swims faster times. I'll say it in Australia, but it's just like they are like this, and so I think you can make an argument for either one at this point. And I'm just going with the narrative that Reagan's going to be on and back. Reagan's going to be on. She drops time from trials, and in all three events, I don't know about the 50 back. She went really fast in the 50 back at trials. So I'm going with her on the 100, as well as the 200.
Yeah, Molly O'Callahan is not swimming the 100 back.
Sorry, I missed that, y'all. Thanks for the catch. That's one less competitor we have to worry about.
Yeah.
So let's give this some context. Kaylee McEwen is the world record holder in the 200 backstroke. She set that in Sydney in March. She went 2:03.3 at trials in June in Australia. Reagan Smith, 2:03.8 at trials. First time she's been under 2:05 since 2019.
Yeah,
right?
Since breaking that world record.
Yeah. And then you've got Ryan White, who's 2:05.7, Anastasia Skurdai, who's 2:06.9, and no one else under 2:07 in the world. Good God. So this is really going to be a battle of titans.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because Reagan takes her race out really fast. At trials, literally all of us thought she was going to break the world record, but she kind of died those last 15 meters. But McEwen closes super, super fast. So it just depends on how well Reagan Smith handles racing when there's someone coming from behind, and kind of same with what she's going to have to deal with Summer McIntosh, but I think it's going to be more profound here.
Yeah, I mean, it's Kaylee and Reagan tied both 100 and 200 back. Would love to see it.
Yeah, would love to see
it. Okay, sorry. Let's address this, Linda Chang. Kaylee was only 0.02 slower in Tokyo in the 100 back compared with trials. That's basically the same time. Sure, but it's not, and it's slower. And that's one example of Kaylee swimming. It's not even an example. It's her swimming.
I don't think she was all out at her trials meet. She was faster in season than she was at trials.
Which is also interesting because that's another thing. I'm not saying Kaylee swims bad on an international stage. She is the double Olympic gold medalist. But with Reagan, we have more assurance that she will taper and swim faster at a bigger meet than in season, whereas Kaylee swims fast in season a lot and then doesn't necessarily get faster at those bigger meets.
I think last year was a fluke year for her. Like, I know that happened with her last year. She swam her season best at this Sydney Open in February. But I think last year was just a bad year for her, and she seems back on track now. And as a commentator said, she swam through Tokyo with a shoulder injury and still swam almost the same times. I think she's gonna learn how to like better handle going from in season to worlds. But even if she doesn't drop that much time, she's still faster than Reagan has been in season and all time. So like I think she has more room to fall than Reagan does, whereas Reagan has to be faster than she was at trials to win.
Agreed. And I mean, that's
Yeah.
what I see playing out is that
Yeah.
Reagan will be a little faster than she was at trials. Kaylee's going to be a little slower. Maybe she goes 2:03.6 and
Yeah,
Reagan
but
goes
Reagan
2:03.
Reagan also has the problem of not swimming fastest in finals. She broke the world record in semis. She's swam faster in the semis at the
Dude,
Olympic
sorry, go
trials,
ahead. Go ahead.
Olympics. It
Mhm.
happened last year at Worlds. She was faster in semis than finals. It's just a Reagan Smith thing. It's happened for a while now, and so like it's kind of similar to the whole Kaylee McEwen doesn't swim super fast outside of Australia, but Reagan Smith also kind of has that problem. And remember, we don't have semifinals at trial, so we weren't able to see that.
That's true. We didn't have semis at trials. Was she 2:03.6 in finals in 2019?
Yeah, 2036 in finals, 2033 in
Mhm.
yeah.
I
In
think 2:03.6 wins the final at World Champs, which would be really fast.
who do you think gets bronze in the 200 back? We totally glossed over that.
I mean, yeah, because it's like who finishes behind Kaylee Ledecky,
Yeah,
right? Like,
Ryan White.
yeah,
And
I think Ryan White's a great pick. She's third in the world by over a second
yeah.
as it stands of people swimming. Yeah, this
Mhm.
is another crazy loaded numbers. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 in the world are all American.
Yeah. And most of them aren't swimming in Fukuoka.
Right, like that's 5 women who are in the top 6.
Yeah.
Which is, yeah, just another event that there is crazy depth.
Mhm.
Um, Kylie Moss could sneak in there, who knows? But yeah, I think she's more sprint oriented, as I believe you
Mhm.
said earlier.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think Ryan White's she's the defending bronze medalist. She's been in this
Mhm.
situation before, and
Yeah.
I mean, she won. Is Margarita Panziera still swimming? Is she entered in
I'm
this?
not sure. I think she
She
won the
swam at
European
the Italian
title.
champs.
Yeah.
She
She
swam it.
won
Hold
the
on.
European title last year.
Let's look. 200 backstroke entries for world championships. Here we go. Where's Italy? She is entered in this. So I think she's got a legitimate shot. She was only 0.3 behind Ryan White at last year's Worlds. So she was fourth, close to bronze. But I'll call Ryan White because she seems like she's having fun.
Yeah.
And I think that's when a lot of people swim their best.
Mhm.
SwimSwam should do an article on the frequency of ties at major international meets. I don't know how much there is to say. It would
Yeah.
probably be something like not a lot.
Yeah. Like, oh, Penny Alexiak, Simon Manuel. And the three-way tie at the
Right. But yeah,
the
maybe we should.
Rio.
All right. On the women's 200 IM.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
This is gonna be the race of the meet, in my opinion, even if Summer McIntosh is out.
Tell us about it.
I originally had, because I did the preview for this event, I originally had Summer winning, Kaylee McEwen getting second, Kate Douglas in third, and then Alex Walsh in fourth. I think this race is between Kaylee McEwen and Kate Douglas. I just think, but I
Wait,
do
pause.
think that,
Well, hold on. Sorry, hold on. You think Kaylee McKeown's going to swim it?
yes, I think she's gonna.
And she's going to swim the 100 back?
Yes.
No way. But sorry, go ahead.
I do think the momentum. I said Kaylee McEwen because I just think she has so much potential in this event. She doesn't have a particularly bad stroke. She's flies her weakest stroke, but she's still 27.8 opening. But Kate Douglas just has more momentum in her favor. I feel like she's been faster than Kaylee McEwen. And she doesn't have to deal with a 100 back beforehand. So I can see it going either way, but I can understand why Kate Douglas would be a favorite. I'm just concerned, as I've said before, I'm just concerned with how much more she can drop or if she can replicate her times from 3 weeks ago, because that was a short time and she was lights out at that. I'm not sure if she'll have more to give. And
You're
Alex
talking about Kate
Walsh,
Douglas?
yeah, I'm talking about Kate Douglas.
Okay.
And Alex Walsh, that like I could see her winning, but she just doesn't. She just hasn't had as much hype as the other two in this event, so that's why I'm picking her to get third.
If I'm looking at the world rankings, Summer McIntosh #1, not swimming it. Reagan Smith #6, not swimming it. Sydney Pickram #7, not swimming it. So 3 of the top 8, and Kaylee McEwen is third. I don't think she'll swim it. I hope she does as a fan, but
she said it was her favorite event. So like,
that's cool. I don't doubt it.
It's just a 100 semifinal. I don't think it's. I think she can drop a 59 in the 100 back and then swim the 200 AM.
What did it take to make the final last year in the 100 back? Let's look.
It was like 100. It was very slow.
It was 100.06. So yeah, she could cruise 100 back, go 59. Well, I mean, what if you cruise the 100 back and get 9th like Aaron Pearsall did that one time? But also, there's the only thing that's in between the 100 back semi and the 200 IM final is the men's 200 freestyle semi. So she has 20 minutes, which
probably.
And then she has to do a 200 IM. Like the 200 is the second event of the double. That's hard. So for my picks, I do not think Kaylee swims it. I think she swims 100 back and 200 back. And in that case, I think Kate Douglas wins, Alex Walsh second, and Yu Ting third. Yeah, because just the rest of the world's kind of behind.
It's not. The rest of the world isn't behind though. There's been 10 or 11 women under 210 this year, whereas last year 210 got 4th. So overall, the event has just gotten a lot faster, but there's just 2 or 3 swimmers that are ahead of everyone else.
Right. That's what I meant. The rest of the field is behind those 2 or 3 swimmers. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I mean. I hope Kaylee McEwen swims it, because then I think it will be such an epic race between Douglas, McEwen, and Walsh.
Yeah.
All right, 400 IM.
I think this podium is very predictable. I'm going Summer McIntosh winning, Katie Grimes getting second. I know I said she wouldn't podium in the 1500, but I do think the 4 AM has become her better event. And then Alex Walsh takes third.
Okay. I mean, I think that's a fair podium, but bronze is, I think, harder to call.
Who do you think's gonna beat her for bronze?
So Jenna Forrester of Australia has been 334.8.
Oh my!
I forgot
about
Colbert is just 4/100ths behind Alex Walsh. Yu Ting is 0.15 behind. Sarah Franceschi of Italy has been 35.9. So you've got quite a few swimmers who have been 36 or 35. So I'm gonna pick Alex Walsh because I'm an American and because I think that's a fair pick. But I think there are a lot of women who are going to challenge behind Summer and Katie. But right now, if Summer and Katie have even like decent swims, I think they're going to medal. Last year Emma Wyant was bronze and 3:36.0, and then fourth place was 37.8. So it's like there's a pretty big gap between those top swimmers and then even the bronze medalist and below. So yeah, I think Summer and Katie all day.
Yeah, I think Alex Walsh has a lot of potential in this event. She's so good at it in short course, and she just started seriously swimming. Like, her trial swim was her first ever big meet 400 long course IM, and she dropped 7 seconds. I think she can be a 4:33 at Worlds.
Yeah.
Mia Narita, yeah, she's definitely a dark horse. I had her as my dark horse in the 200 IM. She's just 16, so I do think she can have that home soil advantage.
Yeah, so it's worth noting that not all of these swimmers are like competing, but we've got 14 swimmers who have been under 4:38 this season, which I think pretty handily puts you in contention for that bronze medal place. And so again, I think there's a lot of women who could just drop a little bit of time. You've got Agahawa Tanegawa of Japan also, who has been 37.9. Mia Narita has been 36.8, both at the Japan swim. So, either of those could just pop a best time on home soil and then find themselves in third. So I think that's going to be a good race.
Yeah. And then now the relays.
Now the relays. Oh God.
Promise we'll be done soon.
Well, I don't even know what to think about these relays. Okay, let's start easy. 400 free relay. Australia's going to win.
Yeah. I think Australia's going to win, US second, China bronze.
Who else do we have for bronze?
Canada could get bronze, but China...
No, stop it.
What do you mean stop it? They dropped McNeil, McIntosh, and someone else.
And someone.
But China is better. Because they have 2:52 flat starts, Zheng Fei, Yang Jinshen, and then Wu Qingfeng split 52.9 at Worlds. Not at Worlds, at the Olympics. And she's on the team this year. And then, I don't know, they just need a fourth leg similar to Canada, but their first 3 legs are better.
Yeah, I mean, so China was fourth last year by a sizable margin, but I do not see it happening for Canada. Like Taylor Ruck has not really looked on form this season. Period. Maggie McNeil and Summer look great, but then you need a fourth swimmer. I think China's a solid pick for third. We did have a question: what will the margin of victory be in the 400 free relay? Last year at Worlds, it was 1.20 seconds.
I'm surprised it wasn't more than that.
I know, but this was also the meet where like Australia was half in and like McKeon didn't even swim.
Yeah. I think the margin, since the US has gotten a lot stronger, I think the margin's going to be less than a second. I'm thinking between like half a second. Yeah, half a second. I like
Yeah. Oh, well, I don't know about half a second. I'm going 0.8.
Yeah.
I think
I think
point
half a
0.8.
second because if Australia misfires, I think the US has a shot of winning. The reason why Australia has a bigger chance of winning than the US is because they have those 52 low, 51 splits. Emma McKeon's been 51-3 before. I don't think she'll go 51-3 at Worlds, but they have those splits. The US, we don't know if they have them right now, but they have more potential than Australia, just more like untapped potential that we don't know about. Like Kate Douglas could be 51 high, 52-0. Abby Weitzel, Gretchen Walsh could be 52 mid.
Mm-hmm.
Tori Husk has been 52-9 on a flat start. If
I
Australia
wonder who leads
misfires,
off.
then Tori Husk is gonna lead off, obviously.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's a pretty solid relay. And if Australia has misfires on this relay, then I could see the US pulling off the upset. And they've had misfires before. It just didn't matter to them as much then because they're so far ahead of the field. But right now they have to be much more careful.
Well, they've had misfires in other relays, but like not really in the 400 free relay since 2017 when Kate Campbell wasn't competing.
Well,
And like
misfires in like Meg Harris not being able to replicate her 52 that she did once, Maddie Wilson being slower.
right.
Uh,
Yeah, do you think Kevin Durant will swim on the 4x100 medley relay for USA? I hope so. Yeah, I think 0.8 is a fair margin of victory. Yeah, I'm excited to see what the US women can do. I think they will throw down on that relay, but I still think it'll be Australia. 4x2.
I think this one's going to be a lot closer. With Molly O not being at her best, I'm going with the US on this one. They're the defending champions. They've looked a lot better they're faster than they were last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in this race there's more room for wrong Katie. There's a lot more room for the Australians to have error. And if Molly O'Callahan's not on 154 low, 153 form, then I can see the US winning. Both of these relays, Australia is the favorite on paper, but we know that's not how it works.
Right. Isn't Australia the favorite in this by like 2 seconds?
Yeah, well, they broke the world record.
On paper. Oh, yeah. Well, right, but I just mean like of best times versus the US's best times. Yeah, I mean again, as Australia has the 4x1 dialed in, I just feel like we have the US has the 4x2 dialed in for this relay, and I think with Katie Ledecky leading that group of youngsters, and Claire and Bella continuing to ascend and get better, I'm confident.
154.
Yeah, I'm confident that the US will once again come out on top. Australia, China for the silver and bronze.
Yeah, I can see that. Medley relay. I think this one the US is running away with it. Their C relay would have won Worlds last year. So
yeah, but that's like also Australia's butterflyer went 57-1, and I don't think that is very dependable. Yeah, US is winning. I mean, I'm not gonna.
US is winning.
I'm not gonna argue with you there.
Yeah, I think Australia gets second, and this is the one relay where I think Canada can medal because it doesn't require as much depth. You just need one good swimmer on every stroke, and I think Moss, whoever's swimming breaststroke, Sophia Angus, Kelsey Wog, I don't know.
Right.
McNeil can possibly split 55, and then Summer McIntosh or Taylor Rock on anchor.
Agreed. Yeah. If they don't put Summer on that anchor, I would be upset. but whatever. Yeah, I think Canada's looks good here. Let's see. Oh, Sweden for fourth. Oh, they were fourth last year. Anyway,
Yes.
sorry. Yeah, I think the US breaststroke contingent boosts our relay above
Yeah,
everyone else.
for sure.
I think other countries can kind of match us in other strokes, especially like Australia, like backstroke. You could say we're
Mhm.
equal. Fly, if Emma McKeon throws down, you could say like, oh, that's kind of a push. Freestyle, they might even be better, but I think we're so much better at breaststroke than it just kind of us over the edge.
Wait.
Summer McIntosh on breaststroke for Canada.
Mhm.
I don't think that's a good call, but
Okay, wait. Sweden actually looks really interesting because last year Hannah Ross it was 100 backstroke, 106 breaststroke, Louise Hansen 56.3 on fly, and
right.
then Sarah Sjöström 52.6. I would say that they have a shot. I think they have a shot with Canada being a little weaker,
Mm-hmm.
but Sarah Sjöström, considering that she dropped the 100 free, I don't think she'll be as good in the 100s as she is in the 50, but she can throw down some really clutch medley relay splits. So they are definitely in the conversation.
I agree, and I would assume Sarah dropped the 100 free individually to focus on sprints, but also probably relays
Hmm.
too, or at least
Yeah.
this relay because
Yeah.
they always have, they've had a very good medley for the last few years, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
their backstroker is kind of their X factor of like,
Yeah.
okay, is this going to send us over the edge? But
Mhm.
I mean, if they all throw down splits to their potential, especially on those last three legs with the Hansen sister
Mhm.
and Sjostrom, yeah,
Yeah.
very much in play.
Yeah.
I agree. All right. Well, that concludes our 2023 World Championship preview for the women. We will be previewing the men either sometime this week or next week. We will let you know about that. But thanks for joining this ride with us. We know it was a long one, and we'll see you next time.